Smackdown. 1,000 episodes. 1,000 episodes. What do I have to say about that? I've been watching Smackdown for a very, very, very long time, okay? I've been watching the show since I was a little kid. I've been there from the beginning when I first started watching wrestling back in the Attitude Era. And I've watched Smackdown from the many, many years, from the good to the bad. And honestly, it was really good, when it first started in the Attitude Era. And I thought it was really good from, that '02 to, I think they fell off about '10, to be honest, on SmackDown. But SmackDown was a really great show, and still is to some point of degree, if you go from back in 2016 when they were very dominant. But there's a lot of moments that can be said when watching SmackDown, though. It really is. Lots and lots of moments from there. From, Jesus Christ, one of my favorite moments was when Austin blew up the DX Express. That's one of my favorites that have always been on SmackDown. From, Undertaker going against, I swear, hunting up to JBL at the time for the WWE Championship. So it's saying, you, me, SummerSlam. From, by God, The Rock being on there, Eddie Guerrero's title celebration. It's many, many moments you could count from SmackDown. It really is. And, I've watched the show from a long time. Yeah, the show was taped and everything, but I felt like it really fell off after 2010, which they still tried to do. I've always felt that SmackDown always created a lot of big name stars. Yes, they've been known as the B brand, but at some points in times, there have been times when SmackDown has been better than Monday Night Raw. And like I said, there's been a lot of great champions on there, tag teams, everything. Lots of great things on, even when they created these SmackDown tag team titles. There's always been SmackDown has always found a way to keep its name out there. Hell, I got the SmackDown 10th anniversary DVD. I still have the 100 moments on, of what they've done on SmackDown. And, everything they probably showed tonight in clips and stuff is stuff I've already owned on DVD. Yeah, it's not going to go past, probably 2010, but there's still been a lots of great moments, on that DVD to where they are today. And there's many big names when you watch SmackDown really throughout the years. You go from people like The Rock, Batista, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Edge, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, if you want to go from there, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Big Show, he was on SmackDown, John Cena, it's a lot of names, okay? I've been, you can even name, Lord names if you want, but those are some of the big names you've always had on SmackDown. Undertaker, JBL, I guess, just because, he was WWE champion, Booker T, RVD, a lot of names, okay? It's been a lot of names associated with that brand, and some have been made many big stars on there, even the current ones today when they are on SmackDown. From, them they had the Cruiserweight division on there at one point. Come on, I remember great Cruiserweight matches like Matt Hardy going against Mysterio, and, the Cruiserweight title was really big at the time on SmackDown. They were a vital part on that show, the Cruiserweights, and it was always pretty good of who they had on there. But that's one of the matches I do remember was, Eddie versus, Ray versus Matt Hardy. I remember Rey Mysterio winning the championship. So, when he was the Cruiserweight champion. So, that was a big moment on there. But it's, like I said, it's many, many names. You can go from, I don't even know how many names have been on SmackDown. I could keep going. It's a long list. I can go from Jeff Hardy to more people. But that's just a few things I kind of want to say about SmackDown. And it's an accomplishment that they've made it to their 1,000th episode and everything. But was this show going to be bad as, Raw's 25th anniversary? Because, come on, Raw 25th was really kind of bad when you look at it in hindsight. And I only really liked the beginning of the show because that was just Austin at the time out there. But, I should make one thing before going on. And was there going to be a lot of surprises on this show tonight? Yes, it was. But one thing I can't say you didn't get on this show was Stone Cold or The Rock on there. So let me kind of put that. You didn't get any of those two, and yet The Rock is one of the big pretty much the beginners when it comes on SmackDown. But there's a lot of things, like I said, it's always been on SmackDown. Cabinets, factions, from DX being on there to JBL's cabinet to, that whole Edge and, Vicky Guerrero, that La Familia thing. It's like I say, it's been a lot of big names on SmackDown. A lot of them have been on there. But getting to this 1000th episode, because come on, I've seen this show go from being on UPN on Thursday nights to Friday Night SmackDown to being on the CW to being on Sci-Fi, all the way going back to the USA Network. And I've seen these guys on like Channel 9 or Channel 8 for a long time on either UPN or the CW, okay? But, going on Sci-Fi for a few years, now back on USA again is a lot to say. But pretty much coming into SmackDown tonight on its 1000th episode, they had a video package showing moments from the Billy and Chuck wedding to the tribute they did on 9/11. The Rock, Austin blowing up the DX Express. Like I said, Eddie Guerrero's title celebration. It's a lot of things I've already named, but they were in a video package. But as we began SmackDown off tonight, we start off with Truth TV, R-Truth and Carmella. As you know, they welcome everyone to the 1000th episode of SmackDown. Now, it's been a lot of great moments on Truth TV, even though they only had one and got canceled. They said it was time for a dance break then, and they was going to bring out their first guest, a person that needed no introduction, which, God, this person got booze as soon as she hit the scene. Stephanie McMahon, why? And, she talked about being the first ever general manager on SmackDown, which is true. And, that was exciting to be here in the 1000th episode and everything. But before she could even say much, the commissioner of SmackDown finally returned, Shane McMahon. Shane was here. He got a big chant. People were happy to see Shane McMahon and everything. And, he thanked everyone that's always been part of SmackDown, the fans and everyone in attendance tonight that have made this show for what it was. Stephanie tried to say something too about SmackDown, but got immediate boos and said that Raw's been around here longer, and it's the, there come things to a higher standard. We're not like SmackDown where we have, stuff like Truth TV. But, Shane McMahon talked about, SmackDown Live having Truth TV. As before he was going to go on, Vince McMahon came out. Vince getting a huge reaction, really, which somewhat surprised me. It's funny because it's like those same people in attendance. Of course we're all going to crap on the show, like Monday Night Raw, the product itself, because it's really, really bad. It really is, okay? And, it's stuff like this whole Crown Jewel situation going on and how bad Monday Night Raw is half the time and the ratings going low. It amazes me that Vince McMahon got this mega reaction, okay? And people were chanting, no chance in hell and stuff. So, like I said, Vince got a huge pop coming out there. And, of course, you could see Stephanie and, Shane fight as usual. But this is WWE, and these people want to be entertained. So, it was a dance break then between the McMahons and Truth and Carmella, which almost reminds me of the whole Raw 25th thing, because the McMahons kicked off the show from there. The only difference is that you didn't have Stone Cold Steve Austin come out there and stun everyone at the time. But still, what my point is trying to make is that it's kind of crazy that the McMahons have kicked off both shows. But in a way, I felt like it was a segment trying to make this is about themselves. The dance break thing was kind of funny, but I gotta say, it amazed me that Vince gets this big of a pop. But the show's still that fucking bad. It really is. So it really surprises me when watching that. But it wasn't that bad of an opener though. We went to the Usos, which I swear I barely see these guys on TV anymore, except one of them on a Mixed Match Challenge. Went against Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, which that sounded like a damn great match. The match wasn't bad or anything, but mostly the story here is between AJ and Bryan, as AJ and Bryan had a miscommunication in the ring. Jimmy Uso went for a super kick. He kicked AJ as Bryan dodged it. Bryan then got double super kicked by the Usos. Usos went in the match. Pretty much we're just showing, dissension between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, because they still got their match coming up in the next 3 weeks, the Crown Jewel, so we got to build this up one way or another. So, that was I will say it was pretty good to kick off the show from there with the Usos and AJ and Bryan. It wasn't a bad tag match or anything, but we kind of know what the story was. They did with the Page in the back talking to past GMs, Teddy Long, Vicky Guerrero, and John Laurinaitis, or I don't know, Bella's something. Is this dude married to the Bella's mom or some shit nowadays? I don't know. But excuse me. Yeah, trying to kill this gnat, but hate gnats. But you know, showing past general managers in the back, and you know, Vicky's got to say excuse me. It was one thing I was reading something. I was reading something on YouTube, and someone pointed this out. If it wasn't, you know, I know Eddie Guerrero was a big part of SmackDown, but somebody said it would have been good if they brought out the low rider or something, or Vicky came out with the low rider to Eddie's music and everything. That would have been a big moment if they did that. You know, I guess some say, you know, paying tribute to him and everything, but like I said, we had the past general managers on there. We did pretty much was mostly the best thing out of the night was Evolution making their big return, even though they were never on SmackDown individually. Three of these guys were, but they never were really a group like that on Monday Night Raw. I mean, they were only on Monday Night Raw, a Raw exclusive, not really up to SmackDown, but Evolution got a big pop out there, especially Batista being his hometown of Washington, D.C., Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, Batista, which is funny to me in a week's time span. 1 week we got D-Generation X last week, and now Evolution is back this week. As Triple H talked about the milestone of, you know, being 1,000 episodes and everything in SmackDown, and this is an Evolution right here, and you know, to celebrate it, I'll say right here, this is Evolution. I don't know about that pay-per-view coming up in the next week, and I feel like this is most likely to turn bad, but this is the real Evolution. Ric Flair talked about, you know, 1,000 is big, but you know, I'm used to seeing, I'm dealing with 1,000, 10,000 numbers, okay, of being big. But Ric Flair was over, of course, woos, of course you're gonna hear that woo, and people are gonna have fun with it, so Rick having a good time out there. Randy Orton then kind of took some shots at Evolution, saying, you know, Triple H, we know you're running the show, and Rick, you're living vicariously through your daughter, and Batista, you know, you're in a makeup chair. I'm on here on SmackDown cementing my legacy, okay, with my work. Which we didn't really get that whole crazy, sadistic Orton. We just kind of had Randy Orton being part of Evolution. But, you know, he talked about being a young guy, being taken into this group, and what he is formed into today, becoming a multi-time world champion. Next thing you know, Batista had the mic. We had the biggest pop out there. There was loud Batista chants. He was going to ignore what Randy Orton said, but there was 4 things he wanted to say, though, Batista. Number 1, being back on SmackDown 1000 and, you know, representing this blue brand. You know, number 2, being, you know, here in his hometown, Washington, D.C., talking about he was a bouncer for 13 years, right up 2 blocks up the street from this arena, and, you know, he's seen more violence than any kid that really needed to see, that he came, you know, being a poor kid to, you know, being a big name right here on SmackDown as a world champion and everything. So he even kind of went on to say, you know, I've done a lot of things throughout the years. Either you cheered me, or you booed me, you called me Bootista, Bluetista, whatever. I've done everything for the fans, and what I've done is entertain you guys. So he pretty much thanked all the fans out there. And when he got the Evolution, you know, he put Evolution over. Talking about Orton, you know, he had more talent in his pinky than anyone he has ever worked with. When he saw him in OVW back then, he said, this kid's got something. So, and that's the same thing he said, Ric Flair and Triple H said that, or, you know, Orton's got something, that's why he's a 13-time world champion. Ric Flair, does he need an introduction? We know what this man has done. 16-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. It's Ric Flair. He doesn't need an introduction. It's Ric Flair. And, you know, I guess he did some fist bump and everything. And Batista got, which was funny, said, he says, keep that thing in your pants, which the crowd just went nuts for, so that was hilarious to see. And then he went to Triple H saying, you know, you're a 14-time world champion. You've done everything in WWE except beat me. And that's where the crowd went nuts. This is where it looked like they were going to fight and hug. And you can't tell me right here if the seeds are already planted. Let the speculation begin. Because you know this is going to be a match. Most likely, I'm sure 100% likely, at WrestleMania. So let the seeds be planted. We got Triple H deal with Undertaker right now. But now it looks like he has another problem. And that is going to be Batista. So get ready for the seeds to be planted. This is the first step into the build, folks, of doing that. So you know Batista wanted to come back, and you know Batista's always said in interviews he wanted to work with Hunter, so it's coming. But this was probably the best segment of the night with Batista, with Evolution himself, Batista, Hunter, pretty much setting up for Mania. But this was the best I could say with Evolution. That was the best thing of the night, really. Miz went against Rusev in some World Cup qualifying match. Kurt Angle was on commentary. Listen, the match was already starting once it came back from commercial. There was literally nothing much to say. English came out, distract them. Miz got the roll-up win. Then Lana kicked English in the nuts. Rusev pretty much beat him up and attacked them. So, do I really need to say nothing else from that? Moving on. Edge coming out, which I can say actually looks like Edge since he grew all his hair back. Which I will say one other thing, his entrance is not the same. It looks really dumb without the pyro. This is one of those things where you need pyro, and Edge is one of those people. His entrance is not the same, but of course you have to have Tony Chimmel out there to say the rated R superstar Edge. So as Edge came out for the Cutting Edge, he talked about, some of his big accomplishments on SmackDown, of cashing in the Money in the Bank on Undertaker, having his no DQ match with Eddie Guerrero, which I do have down DVD on the whole, Top 100 Moments 10th Anniversary DVD, which is, great to watch. And there was a big Eddie chant then, and, talk about he married Vicky Guerrero, then he divorced Vicky Guerrero. So he kind of went on to say that. But he brought out his guest, Becky Lynch. Becky getting a big pop, of course, as usual. They try to portray her as a heel, but the crowd keeps chanting, Becky, Becky. And, he was trying to be a moral compass and everything. But he wanted to know what Becky did to Charlotte. Why did she do this to her and attack her and everything? And, she said she modeled her career off of Edge. And, Edge said, I wasn't supposed to be the main eventer of the posters or anything. I've had to bite and scratch and claw for everything I got in this company. And, he understands and, sees the similarities. And even she sees that, too, of what they've had to do to become top in this company. But talked about her friendship with Charlotte then. And, I done this, too. I have stepped on every friendship, burned every bridge. This title, win that championship, it changes you. It makes you, it stains your soul. It makes you toxic. And when you're in the end of the road, then, and I think Edge went on to say that you're staring at all those championships, reflecting on everything. You're gonna be doing it alone. Which is funny because isn't Edge doing a podcast with Christian? So what do you mean alone? And like, dude, don't that you like? Isn't Beth Phoenix your wife or something? So what are you talking about? But it's kind of crazy, especially from Edge saying that, since Edge has been mostly a big heel on SmackDown through a majority of his entire career being a heel, which has made him great. And he tries to tell Becky you'll hate yourself then, and unless it's like Edge said, I've been a bad guy for a long time, but it does something to you in the end. But Edge, she kind of looked at it and said, you're right. I don't like myself. I do hate myself. He says, I don't like myself and everything. I love myself. And, why don't you get out of my ring? And it says, and try not to hurt your neck again by going through those ropes. So, really trying to pay Becky as the heel here and even taking a shot at Edge. Charlotte came out then and talked about Becky, about the whole Super Showdown, why she ran, and even put her through the LED boards last week. You say you like yourself, but you're going to love this, what I'm going to do right now. Charlotte and Becky brawled. So of course, the referees came out. And, people like Finley and Adam Pearce. So that was going on. But other than that, pretty much a really good segment between Edge, Becky, and Charlotte. But it was great to see Edge. I still think his entrance is Pyro, but that was a really great segment. The Bar went against the New Day for the Tag Team Championship, since I feel like there's no any other tag team to face the New Day for the Tag Team titles. Let's do a rematch. The Bar got no televised entrance. One thing I got tired during this match was the constant commercial breaks. I swear I counted 3 to 4 commercial breaks that this match was going on for a very long time at one point. Yeah, Booker T and Jerry Lawler on commentary on the pancake table, which this was not a bad match or anything, but once Sheamus and Cesaro took out Kofi, Big Show's music hit, and I felt like I saw this coming. Scares off the Bar, choke slams Kofi through the announce table. So if we're going to go with the 1,000th episode of SmackDown, you might as well make this Big Show's 1,000th heel turn. Heel face, heel face, heel face. I should have known something like this was going to happen. And I'm sure people are going to say he was on the first episode of SmackDown, now he's on the 1,000th. So what, are him and the Bar a team now? So the Bar are the new tag team champions, which I didn't really expect to have any type of new tag team champions on this 1,000th episode. But since the Big Show wants to turn heel face, last week he's face, this week he's heel. I'm sure he'll be face this week, maybe he's heel, maybe he'll cry again. I hope we don't see Big Show cry again, because I get tired of that. But heel face, heel face, heel face. This guy has so many freaking turns. And they come so constant. It's like, oh, I'll be face for a minute, then I gotta be heel, then I'll be face for a minute, I gotta be heel. Heel face, heel face. So Big Show really confuses me. And this, why are they doing this? I have no freaking clue. I don't. In the main event, a returning Rey Mysterio, which, of course, fans chanting, you still got it, which I still think he never lost. I saw the guy at All In dressed as Wolverine, but, Rey never lost it. He went against Shinsuke Nakamura, which I probably knew was going to win this. Match wasn't bad, and I would like to see more from these two, but Rey won with a 619. Did I say 619? 619 West Coast Pop off the top rope with the splash. Pretty good match, though, I will say that. I saw Nakamura's nose was bleeding. I should have known by the time the show ended. We brought out Undertaker then, which this felt like a big waste at the end. I did enjoy the Nakamura and Rey match, but I kind of knew Rey was winning. Once again, United States champion is losing or can barely get any type of TV time with Nakamura. Why is this guy even champion, to be honest? But when they brought Undertaker out to do his entrance and everything, all he did was say at Crown Jewel, which the crowd booed, and I will get to that in a second. He had 3 words for DX: rest in peace. So let me get this straight. You brought this guy all the way from Texas to where he lives just to come out, probably had a 2-3 hour flight, wait 2 hours on the show, and come out at the end, put on his gear, and just say, rest in peace. And don't get me wrong, Undertaker's been a main vital part of SmackDown, but I would have loved to see something happen. I almost expected Triple H to come out and attack at the end after Undertaker said rest in peace, or I don't know, do what they did on SmackDown back then, have Shawn Michaels super kick Undertaker when he's not looking or something. I don't know, Evolution attack Undertaker, and I don't know, Kane makes the save, or I don't know, Team Hell No makes the save then or something. But just him to come out to say that was it. That was literally the end of the show. Rest in peace. Like they could have done something more. You hype him. He's on the 1,000th episode. The Dead Man could have done something a little bit more than just do that. That was a lame ending. It really was. That kind of was a really lame ending. And now the crowd, you see the crowd booing at the Crown Jewel name. Okay, so yeah, people don't want to mess with this show. They don't even mention Saudi Arabia anymore, but they still saying Crown Jewel. And now I think it's been confirmed on the news that reporter or journalist, I believe he was assassinated now by the Saudi Arabian government. So I think that whoever this guy was, I know they say he was either missing or dead. I think it's pretty much been confirmed he's dead. So he's been assassinated. So I don't know what to tell you from there. If that doesn't tell you something, what do you expect? Okay, what do you really expect from this? The guy is dead, and so this Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel thing, I don't know if they're really going. Will Vince back out the last minute? Because it's like I said, it's getting more worse and worse every day. You got John Oliver talking about this whole Saudi Arabian thing. I think JBL said some stupid stuff on some news channel on Fox. I'm gonna have to look that clip up. But JBL didn't make any sense when he tried to defend WWE on them going to Saudi Arabia like they're gonna make any change. What change is WWE making? What significant change is WWE making by going over there? What? How much money they're getting paid out there, by? What? I don't know. I really don't know. But overall, SmackDown 1000, listen, it was great to see a lot of people. I think that Undertaker thing was just kind of lame at the end. But it was great to see people like Rey Mysterio, Edge, Evolution, you know, some other general manager. I saw some other people that was advertised for this show but wasn't here. I would have loved to see more. You know, Kurt was still on the show because he was a name part of SmackDown. John Cena said something in the video. I'm surprised John Cena wasn't even here. Since, you know, John Cena pretty much started off on SmackDown. He was a big name on SmackDown, too, at the time. But, in a way, I expected more. I wish the show would have been 3 hours, though, to be honest. That would have been better, just because it's the 1000th episode of SmackDown. But I guess that wasn't going to happen if we, you know, got a 3-hour show. I feel like I expected more in a way, but we still got a lot of returns. Evolution was probably mostly my highlight of the night, especially Batista planting the seeds now for probably a WrestleMania match between Triple H, so watch out for that. I didn't really expect a tag team title change, but I think the whole Big Show thing killed it for me just because this is like, what, the 1000th heel turn face thing he's ever done. It was good to see the cutting edge. I thought that was a good segment, too. With, you know, Becky and Charlotte. The McMahon thing was just whatever, but it's just the McMahons just trying to get themselves over, if you ask me, doing the dance break and stuff. So that's kind of whatever, but Ray and Nakamura still had a pretty good match too, so I didn't mind that. But I'm not saying SmackDown 1000 was really underwhelming. I enjoyed the bits and parts of the show. I'm not saying it was the best. It was a little bit better than Raw 25, but there was some similarities too. It's like Undertaker said something, and that was it. And Undertaker here only said like 3 words and left. I'm sure he got a big payday out of this, but very underwhelming ending segment. So I'm a little 50-50 on the 1000th episode of SmackDown, but it is accomplishments. Like I said, I've been there since the beginning, since 1999, to see where the show has grown on to and today. But I am out of here. I will see you guys later. Please check out my review Monday Night Raw, and please check out my review of Bound for Glory from last Sunday. A very great pay-per-view I recommend checking out. And I thought they put on a damn great show last Sunday, so please check them out. So I hope you enjoyed my 1000th episode of SmackDown review. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. 1000, lay down to SmackDown. Would have been good to see The Rock too, but like I said, I'm out. I got some ciphers to check out on the BET Awards, Hip Hop Awards. Peace.